Okay, all right, welcome to the meeting of the Cannabis Control Board of the, of the City of Jersey City, held Tuesday, May 28, 2024, at approximately 5:23. We apologize for the delay. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by mail or fax to the Jersey Journal and the Reporter. Could we have a roll call?
Vice Chairperson Cantorello,
Here.
Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Here.
Commissioner Mate Dublin,
Here.
Chairperson Bunny, and Commissioner Sloan are both absent.
My understanding is that Commissioner Sloan is on vacation and Chairperson Bunny is ill. All right. So we are going to dispense with that reading, is that correct?
Correct.
Mr. Chairman? All right. All right, so if we could have CCB 22-01 Blossom Dispensary. Somebody here for that? All right. All right, good evening. Jennifer, nice to see you again. Please enter your appearance into the record.
There we go. Jennifer Cabrera for Blossom Dispensary. And I am joined by the majority owner of Blossom Dispensary, Bina Bott, as well as her attorney, Jay Bott.
So you have two attorneys here. Huh?
Yes.
Is there double billing or what?
Oh, yeah, you know
Okay.
it.
Well, she gets a free ride with
Okay,
with
good,
me.
good. So I know last time that you were here, the board had some concerns about the change of management. So could you give us just a broad brushstroke as to, what changed, why did it change, et cetera, et cetera?
Of course. So this is a business that was one of the first ones, if not the first one, approved in Jersey City. 51% owned by Bina Bott, 49% owned by Sapna Bott. They wanted to bring on a partner with experience in cannabis. They brought on family friends who are here, Harvinder Singh and his wife Parvinder Kaur. They together invested in this company through their LLC, which is called Blossom Jersey City LLC. So Blossom Jersey City acquired a 49% interest in the dispensary. Bina has retained 51% ownership. Reason for the change is to have experienced partners in the cannabis industry, and they opened. So we originally submitted this change of ownership to the CCB in September of 2023. We also submitted the change of ownership documents to the CRC. That was approved by the CRC on April 11th at their public meeting. And then the store opened for business on April 12th. So that is the current status.
As a temporary opening.
Yes. With approval of Commerce.
All right, with that, do any of the commissioners have any questions, issues, concerns, et cetera, et cetera?
Just trying to get my notes here.
All right, just 1 second.
And the owners of, the new owners are both here. Bina is here as well as Sapna. So anyone is available to answer questions the
But-
board might have.
The majority ownership has not changed,
Correct.
either through the state of New Jersey or the local CCB.
That is correct.
Okay. I don't have any questions myself personally.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything from you, Jeffrey?
No, I think it's a simple case of approval, since you've gotten through all the mechanisms of this ordeal. I make a motion that we accept CCB 22-1 Blossom Dispensary at 746-748 Tunnelly Avenue.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You can vote on this.
I'm not opposed.
Oh, okay. All right, so the motion carries. Congratulations, best of luck, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll them thick.
Yeah, they got to worry about profitability.
Yeah, right.
All right. All right, next on the agenda, the Leaf Joint. Anybody here for the Leaf Joint? Huh, it's unusual.
That is unusual.
Did, Maynard,
Maynard-
anything- the leaf joint is apparently not here. That would seem to be somewhat unusual.
They were notified? Okay.
And are they one of the temporary openings?
They are. I do believe they're open.
They are open.
Yeah.
We never made it temporary. We just agreed that they would have to come back.
Well, I make a motion that we send them a notice that if they're not here the next time, they'll be shut down for failure to get final approval. Is there a second to that?
You want to give them a couple of minutes, or it's 5:30?
Yeah, we'll wait to the end of the meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case if they're running late.
Smart idea.
All right, why don't we go to Maris next?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, nice to see you again. When you get settled, please enter your appearance into the record and see if we can get started. Yeah, grab whatever chairs you can.
Table from 12:11.
What's that?
Yeah.
Right. Right, 22, boy, that's a long time.
All right, so board commissioners, just want to briefly indicate that I did have a conversation with this applicant's attorney who was seated to my right here, and that some of the folks that have a position or an interest in the enterprise may struggle with English as a second language. So there is someone that will be translating. So we have no objection. I'm sure the commissioners have no objection. But why don't you put your appearance into the record and see where we're going?
Bo Huck, an attorney with Porzio, Bromberg and Newman, here on behalf of Maris, New Jersey LLC, which is located at 4 Jordan Avenue, and they're pursuing a Class 5 retail license.
All right, so who is the first individual to be testifying?
Before we go there,
Go ahead, yeah.
it was a while back since we've heard the application, and there have been some postponements. Could you please explain the postponements to
I
us?
can
Just a reminder.
No problem. I can explain a couple of them. I inherited this client from their prior counsel, and their prior counsel and I both have one thing very much in common. One postponement happened when she got the flu, I believe. Then there was a couple, I think, cancellations on behalf of the board. And then when I got the client, my wife decided to buy a new carpet. So that obviously means my two daughters were going to come home from daycare and give me the flu, which, yes, it was brutal. And that's why we had to get one more postponement. The last one, there was, I think, a bit of a clerical mix-up, and I apologize for us not having been here, but we didn't know that it was today. We got notice that it was on a different day.
Right.
So it's been a bit of an odyssey to get here, so thank you for your patience, and also, too, we totally understand when the board has to cancel because
Yeah.
people
I
get
think we
sick.
canceled our January meeting, Council. Just
Right.
sorry to interrupt you, but we did cancel January. You were last here on December 11th, and February 26th was the last time you were scheduled, but I believe you had notice for February 28th, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, so,
Okay.
makes sense. Timeline makes sense.
It happens. All right, the first witness.
I'm going to lead off with, well, first off, as far as this quick opening,
Sure.
the company is comprised of Mr. and Mrs. Bizyaeva. It has a women's business certification with Olga here owning 51% and her husband Slava owning 19. Also here today, I have Arsen Apasha. Thank you. It's a little tongue-tied with the name.
Go by first names.
Yeah, thank you. And with him, I have Andre Shapada. Mr. Shapada is a CPA by trade with a residency and practice in North Bergen. Mrs. and Mr. Bashayeva come from the incredibly highly regulated healthcare industry, specifically the home care and adult daycare industry, where he has extensive business experience, basically taking care of our most vulnerable. Arsen here is the CEO and the principal of a boutique commercial real estate firm with over 20 years experience in pretty much the Queens area. He's got a passion for seeing an area's revitalization. he kind of took note of where this is going in, got a little excited as the industries in New York and New Jersey were taking off, and saw the McGinley Square Improvement District as a tremendous opportunity for everyone to get involved. This is a team that has extensive normal business experience, shall we say. They're new to this industry, and they genuinely see this as a wonderful opportunity, but particularly this city as a wonderful opportunity. This very wonderful location, because as I was checking it out today, it's fantastic. To date, the mayor's teams met with Ashley Caleb, the executive director of the McGinley Square Improvement District, and its board. They've also met with Councilman Mira Prince-Array and sought her guidance on how to better integrate themselves within the community and be the best possible community partner. They've participated in a couple community endeavors with them. They've signed a labor peace agreement with UFCW. And, my favorite, they've signed an MOU with Hudson County Community College, because they're ahead of the curve on this tremendously, and they're doing a wonderful job training our next generation. So with that, I'd like to start.
Morrison, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, your witness, Counselor.
Easy question. How's everybody know one another?
So,
Yes, you do.
I met Slava probably about 10, 12 years ago in a real estate transaction when he started his business with the home care industry, looking for a facility to start the industry. We rented one of his first facilities. After that, he's expanded. We rented him another. Recently, a couple of years back, we actually sold him a building where he now operates his home care out of. We rented him some facilities for his adult daycare facility out in Queens, which he operates. And ever since, we had a very good connection in business as well as personal, same interests. And it took off from there.
All right, you own 25%. What's your involvement with this cannabis applicant?
Involvement in terms of with the business?
What are you going to do for them?
So basically, initially it started with, I was the one that helped identify the location itself. Took us a bit of a challenge, but we found the right location in the midst of everything that's going on, with new development and everything, up and coming area. And we, from there on, just help assist with everything else that's day-to-day operations.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for
Not so far, no.
Jeffrey?
No.
No. Members of the public? Hearing none, seeing none. The questions and questions only. Okay. Okay. Next witness?
Well, so I wasn't done with this one.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Can you describe some of the social programs your team is actively working on or have worked on recently?
So in regards to the outreach with the community,
Yes.
so we have met with the community. We helped paint the, what would you call that? The lines on the sidewalks and on the streets to calm the traffic down.
Vision.
Right, we did that recently. We have also, well, obviously we had a number of meetings with the college,
Hudson County Community College.
County Community College. Okay, and we have a couple of things in the works where we're thinking out to do some kind of further outreach in doing some sort of a fair or some sort of a volunteering or whatnot, to.
So, more important question. Have you started to explore doing any expungement clinics?
Yes, so we've looked into that, and actually we've reached out to see how we can help assist with further educating with the product, with the benefits of it, and try to kind of bring to light some of the positive things, getting rid of all the stereotypical negatives out of it. So we've actually, let me see, I took some notes here. What do we have in here? The whole thing, we were actually trying to reach out to the
Hoffman Centers.
the centers in order to educate even the elderly with,
Well, no, so
we get it. You're going to engage the Hoffman,
Sure.
Mr. Hoffman, to do an expungement clinic at some point in time in Jersey City. Okay.
Thank
Yep.
you. Have you done any education with the senior community in this area, or do you intend to?
We absolutely intend to, and that's more on the Slava's experience dealing with that type of community. And we definitely intend on doing possible lectures and setting up presentations and putting out all the positive of the product that they can actually benefit from as well.
Is the program called Stop the Stigma?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Now, as far as the McGinley Square, the McGinley Square Community Board, have you had any engagement with them? Have you done any meetings with them? Have you met with their executive director?
Yes, we have.
How'd it go?
It went great. I think we had a good connection, and we have had, we saw eye to eye on certain things that we intend to do and carry out.
Have you engaged with any of the local businesses around where this will be?
Yes, so we've actually, the building that we lease our facility with has, I believe, 5 residential units above. So we had the owner introduce us to 1 or 2 residents in the building, and we've tried to reach out to a few others, which we intend to do as this takes off. And so far, we had nothing but positive feedback. We also reached out to there's a barbershop at 10 Jordan Avenue, known as Professional Barbershop. I spoke to a gentleman named Jerome, who runs the place there. He was very excited to have us there, and he says, you got our votes, so no objections there.
So as far as any type of future community engagement, do you guys plan on participating and helping out with the summer barbecue, the Easter egg hunt, Halloween
Absolutely.
party?
Yeah, we definitely intend to do that with the,
Well, create a new event, like a summer barbecue, the
we,
Easter egg
right,
hunt.
so we definitely want to, number one, we want to put ourselves out there as part of a community that are trying to assist and bring up the values there. So one of the few things we said was we were going to do the barbecues, the Easter egg hunt. We definitely want to have any type of outreach possible in order to get all the community's positive feedback and to be kind of accepted into the community as the newcomers, so.
Were you able to meet with Glennis Rodriguez of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion to discuss how you're going to be hiring a diverse workforce and a local workforce?
Yes, actually, we did. And we said that we would do job fairs to try to,
After we open?
after we open, of course,
Got rolling.
to attract any type of local talent that can help assist us and kind of bring on some of the local residents that we definitely would want to help assist us in this event.
You gotta get closer to the mic, I'm sorry. There you go.
Yes, we'll be high. Is it on? There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Yes, we intend to hire 100% the local, workforce.
How many people?
So right now, in the beginning, we're thinking of somewhere around 6 and see how it kind of takes off. And as needed, definitely getting more, probably 2 shifts, depending on our hours, which we're still kind of figuring out, not counting the security.
And this is an incredibly
Into the mic.
Sorry. This is an incredibly difficult industry to get into. You guys recognize that. Will you be trying to help out any other applicants get into this industry? Will you be sponsoring any other types of applicants trying to go for any of different license types?
I mean, if we can pass on some of the knowledge, I would think so, yes.
Will you be sponsoring any micro business licenses?
Yes.
What does it mean, sponsor?
We're going to help them
Into the
out.
mic.
We'll help them out with their application. We'll be paying for their application.
Wow, okay.
The last question I have and it's a pretty simple one. As far as Hudson County Community College, what's the commitment you made with them and the MOU that we have with them?
So we made a commitment with them of $10,000 a year once we're open for business.
Specifically, though, is that for their scholarship fund?
Correct, it is.
Thank you.
For any kind of courses or just,
It's the cannabis education.
It's the Cannabis Education Scholarship Fund, sir. And, one last also very important question, because it's probably been demonstrated. Will you guys yourselves be going for any type of cannabis business certifications, cannabis education courses?
Oh, absolutely. He, actually, when I had a meeting with them, actually gave me a whole schedule of when they're offering their next courses, so it never hurts to have a little more education on that level. So,
Thank you. No further questions for this?
I have some questions
Yeah, I
for
have
you.
some questions too.
Did you meet with the Journal Square Community Association that's literally in that same area that you're looking to open? Journal Square Community Association. It's a block association that's right in the area where you're looking to open that works and meets inside the Hudson County Community College. They're a pretty big organization.
I don't
I
believe,
don't think we've met with them
I
yet.
don't believe we've met with the journal.
Have you met with Hudson Catholic, which is literally adjacent across the street from the area where you're going to be opening? You're Fort Jordan, right?
Fort Jordan Avenue, yes.
Yeah. Hudson Catholic is right around that area. It's
don't-
right across.
Well, I don't believe I don't think you can see it from this location. I know where the high school
It
is.
still will impact the school when they're letting out. So did you meet with the high school at all?
No.
No.
No, ma'am, no.
And then, Maynard, was the safety and security plan approved by JCPD for this applicant?
Yes.
Yeah? And then, I don't have a copy of the MOU with Hudson County Community College. And I know in my notes, that's what I have last, that you guys were requesting an adjournment to provide further MOUs, but I haven't received anything further.
A copy right here. I could give you.
Yep.
I'm not crazy, right? This is Fort Jordan? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's right.
Any other questions for,
Yeah, school's right there.
any other questions for Arsan?
clarification?
It,
Clarification. How many feet are you away from the church and the Hudson Catholic School? You with beyond 200 feet?
He's beyond 200 feet.
Okay.
Definitely.
The reason for the questioning is when we've had other organizations come to open, they've met with the high schools to come up with
Right.
a agreement where one of the organizations will close during lunchtime or during dismissal during that time so that there wouldn't be any issues with the children trying to go in or hang out in front of the establishment.
Right.
Real quick, may I ask my client a question?
Sure.
There's a high school proximate to this location. When the high school is dismissing or receiving students, well, you wouldn't be open in the morning when they're receiving students. When the high school is dismissing, would you be opposed to closing?
Absolutely not. We can work around that schedule to accommodate, absolutely.
You have the MOU?
this is just reviewing it. There's only one, yeah. This is the only MOU you have in place?
With the community college, yes.
Yeah, is there any additional MOUs with other parties?
No, I don't believe.
Because I know that, again, that's in my notes, requested an adjournment for further community input and MOUs with other community members. I know it's been a couple of adjournments, but just looking at my notes from when we were all last here.
Have a letter from Ashley Caleb, the executive director of the McGinley Square Improvement District, that acknowledges that
That's the
we've
SID.
met and sat down with her and the organization. Would that help?
Yeah, that'd be great if I can see that too. Thank you. And I'm just gonna pass this along for the rest of the board
So-
members to see.
Clarification.
That's okay.
Thank you.
The clarification I want to ask is, so you've met with the SID in McGinley Square, correct? Was there any negative feedback or any suggestions?
Unfortunately, at that point, I wasn't retained, so I wasn't a part of that, but my understanding was the meeting went very
Went
well.
Very well. We had, there was no pushback or anything. And if there was any suggestions, we definitely took them on, and we'll expedite them, absolutely.
We want to have as much of an open relationship with the community as possible because this is, again, this is a business venture that we believe this whole entire area could be something that grows exponentially. And we want to not be a thorn in anybody's side because we want to see everybody do as well as we hypothetically could.
Do you have anybody here that can speak on behalf of either McGinley Square or Hudson County Community College?
McGinley Square, I believe we do.
Okay.
Do you want to hear from them now, or?
Oh, no, I just wanted to make sure, because we've asked other applicants as well, when they give us a letter, to see if they're here in person to show their support, or whether they remain neutral, or, you know, they're opposed to it.
Okay.
I'll pass this along. Or I'll pass this along this
Sure.
way, and then we can circle it back this way.
All right, any other questions for this witness from the board? Hearing none, seeing none. Any questions, and questions only for this witness from the public? All right, hearing none, seeing none. Next witness?
Andre?
Good evening, everyone.
Please raise your right hand. Do swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and you can give us your address.
It's Andrei Shepeta, and I live at 10 Coe Lane North, Unit C, North Bergen, Jersey, 07047.
All right, your witness, counselor.
What's your background?
I'm a CPA by trade.
What's going to be your role with the company?
It will essentially be treasurer / CFO, so taking care of all the accounting side of the work.
And where do you live?
In North Bergen, so not too far.
Jersey boy?
Yep,
You know Jersey City's got better pizza than where you live, right?
we can argue, but probably. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
I have
All
a
right.
question. Will you be the 24/7 contact?
That's a good question, and I think our contact will be our security person, if I believe, and our son, so it will be
Okay.
both of them.
Because I believe everybody else is from New York, Connecticut, and that's it. That's all I have here.
In other words, if we needed somebody to run down to the store at 2 o'clock in the morning, we don't need somebody driving from Connecticut.
Makes sense.
We'd like somebody from North Bergen.
Fair enough.
We'll get there, okay. Yeah. All right. All right, so no other questions for this witness?
Hold it.
Oh.
So the vice chair brings up a good point. The point is that everybody has license that are not around. Who is going to, and we have security that's going to take all telephone calls 24/7. Who's the actual manager in the store at all times?
Since we have not hired anybody yet, we don't know that answer yet.
So none of the owners will be there as a manager.
Correct.
That doesn't preclude
I
them
know,
from
I'm
being there. Well, that begs the question, are any of the owners going to be there?
And if so, how often? Or
It's something.
You intend?
Well, Arson, he's exploring the opportunity to move to Jersey City at this point. He again sees this as pick the location himself. He lives currently in Brooklyn, so as far as somebody who will be checking in regularly, it's going to be him. This is a sizable endeavor, so they want to make sure this gets off the ground. Again, professional operation as to how they've dealt with every endeavor they've ever approached. So I would anticipate that you'd be the one checking in.
When you
I
say
can only
in
speak.
every endeavor they approach, have you operated any cannabis businesses before?
No, not the cannabis businesses.
Okay.
and then you said, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Good.
but I'm sorry. You said he resides where?
I live in Brooklyn, New York.
In Brooklyn. Okay,
I used to live in New Jersey some time ago in Livingston,
I
New
believe
Jersey.
your ID says a different.
You
town.
have Pennsylvania,
No, New York
have-
State.
We have New
Yeah.
York
New York
State.
State. Okay, so you have, because I have multiple houses, so that's why it's registered. I have one in Sullivan County.
Okay.
That's 4151 West Shore Drive that you see.
Okay.
right?
Just
Yeah.
for the record, just want to make sure.
No, I live at 289 Whitman Drive, Brooklyn, New York, 11234.
out of all the owners, who's going to be on site and how frequently?
So we're all going to alternate. Each one of us will be at the site at least once a week. Between all four of us, that pretty much covers almost the whole week. So, if somebody has to take 2 shifts, so be it, we'll alternate. 100%. I mean, I run my own real estate business. He runs his own businesses. With that being said, we understand in order to run a successful business, you need to be there. You need to be on top of everything that goes on and really kind of have your finger, on the pulse, so to speak. So we intend to be there. If it's not me, maybe him. The following day it'll be me. So we're definitely going to take turns in making sure that someone's there periodically, at least, once to twice a week minimum. But that's bare minimum. I think especially in the beginning, until everything gets up and running, each one of us is going to be there on a daily basis.
Yeah, and once they hire a competent manager, they can still, Zoom, telephone calls, I mean, that sort of thing. But they really need to find a manager who knows what's
100%.
going
We
on.
understand that.
Otherwise, if you guys are absent owners, you're going to have a big problem.
100%. We understand this running our other businesses. So
All right. And on renewal date, the violations will come back to haunt you.
understood.
Well, let's hope there isn't any, but, all right, so I'll say for the third time. Any other questions for Andre? Hearing none, seeing none. Members of the public, hearing none, seeing none. Next witness. Yes, we understand. Sure. So, yeah, why don't you sit as close as you possibly can to the individual that you are going to be translating for. And I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand again.
On his behalf? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are going to be interpreting from what language?
Russian.
From Russian to English.
Correct.
To the best of your ability, correct? I would ask you not to interject, not to add any flavor, just to the best of your ability, translate exactly what he's saying.
Understood.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted. You could
All
put
right,
your
that's
hand
it.
down. Can you raise your right hand? Who's testifying? This gentleman?
Yes. He'll
Okay.
start.
They could just bring the mic closer to them, just because it isn't
Well,
being
I'll be
recorded.
speaking-
It
oh,
still needs to be heard. No, there's another mic there.
Yeah, use both
It's just
of 'em.
because this is still being recorded and you are translating.
Thank you.
Spend enough money on it. All right. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I'm Vyacheslav Bizayev.
I do.
I do, sir.
Okay. Правду говорит.
All right. State your name again.
Vyacheslav Bizayev,
Okay. And your address?
335 Maple Road, Stamford, Connecticut, 06903.
Thank you. His English is pretty good. Your witness, counselor.
Please describe the industry that you currently work in.
Я собственник хоум-кер агентства и adult daycare.
He's an owner of a home health care facility and an adult daycare facility.
Do your employees ever handle any of the patient's medication?
Bueno.
Gentlemen, both speak into the microphone.
Yeah, if you guys could
only
just
so
get a little
that
closer.
Only so that we have a recording, and I'm not suggesting somebody would be running into court and opposing this, but at least there'll be a record.
Твои люди на тебя работают, имеют доступ к таблеткам или это для своих
Нет,
пациентов?
нет.
No.
Social.
His employees do not have access to any medicine or anything like that, and in the business they're in, they do not administer any medicine whatsoever.
Is the industry highly regulated?
Очень сильно регулируемый бизнес. Мы работаем под медикейтом.
It's a very highly, basically the business is overseen very heavily because they're billing Medicaid. So they're real on top of their.
And how long have you all known each other?
10 years.
10 years?
10, 9, 11. I don't know. I don't remember.
Excellent. Thank you.
Anything else? Any questions from, nope, board members? Hearing none, seeing none. Members of the public? Hearing none, seeing none. Next witness, sir. Moving chairs again.
Musical chairs.
Yep. All right, please raise your right hand, Olga.
Правая рука поднимай.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Будешь говорить правду, скажи.
I do.
Okay, please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Olga Bizyaeva, 335 Maple Road, Stamford, Connecticut.
Your witness, counselor.
How long have you worked in the industry with your husband?
Как долго ты работала со Славиком, работаешь в этой?
10 years.
Where predominantly are your patients serviced?
Твои пациенты, где их сервисуют?
Я работаю Home Care Agency администратором. Мои пациенты дома.
Okay. She's a home care administrator, and all her patients get basically serviced in their homes as the nurses visit the facilities.
What
Nothing's
region?
done on premises where they operate.
What region specifically? New York, New Jersey?
В какой секции у вас? В каком
Нью-Йорк.
городе?
Нью-Йорк.
Brooklyn, Queens.
Да, Нью-Йорк, Бруклин, Квинс.
Predominantly all in New York, Brooklyn, and Queens.
Excellent.
It's in their facilities where they're located.
No further questions.
Board? Hearing none, seeing none. Members of the public? All right. Next witness? Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Kenneth Petrocik, that's Petrovic, 16 Woodlawn Avenue, Cranford, New Jersey.
Welcome, sir. Your witness, counselor.
What's your experience in security?
25 years police officer in Jersey City, and approximately 6 years as security guard in schools.
What's going to be your role with the company specifically?
Security director, taking care of the schedules and making sure that everything is running smoothly security-wise.
And to answer the board's question, you're going to be the 24/7
Yes,
contact?
It's been discussed that I'm going to have a cell phone just for that case of emergencies, and I would be the one to be contacted.
And what happens if somebody needs to get to the store at 3 o'clock in the morning? You're driving up from Cranford?
Cranford's only, at night it'd be a 15-minute ride if.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah.
Are you presently still employed by the Jersey City Police Department?
No, I retired approximately 10 years ago.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe you were present last time, correct? But the rest of the members were not. And we've asked for them to come today. I'm just, as I see your face, everything's coming back. And I know we've asked them to be here
Right.
today or the next time because they got adjourned a couple of times. But, okay.
Well, Cranford's only 15 minutes away, so I think, yeah. All right. Any other questions? Board members? Oh,
Do you intend to visit the location on a weekly basis?
I'd probably be working there full-time. As a security director, I'd have to be there just in case something happens.
Okay.
do you have any other employment?
I'm working at a school right now in Plainfield, a charter school, but this is another thing that I'm going to be, I'm probably going to be stepping down for that to take this role.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing,
I have a question. How often do you think you'll be doing it? This is to all the owners or the majority and the less percentage owners. How often do you think you'll be doing community activities? And if so, what sort of activities will you be doing?
And so
I think that's Arslan, and he did
That's-
give some
that's-
testimony.
yeah,
but-
so-
I know you, even here, when I read the application, you do have, you listed different activities that you want to do, but it's what you intend to do.
Right.
So
So, I mean, we expect to do something at least 3-4 times a year, just to be relevant with the community. Again, this is like a work in progress. I mean, we definitely have the right intentions. We also want to get the positive input from the community, and we want them to tell us, hey, we want you to do something for this occasion or for that occasion, So we're very much open-minded, and we're willing to invest and, go side by side with them. So, but at least figure seasonally, 3 to 4 times a year, bare minimum.
The issue that I have with that is that although you have a very nice MOU with the Hudson County Community College, I don't see much engagement with the rest of the community that surrounds it. I applaud you for your community engagement and your commitment to do the scholarship on cannabis education, which I feel that is very important. But I would like to have seen more community engagement with other organizations outside of the Hudson County Community College. That being your sole MOU.
And I believe that MOU was in place when we were last here. So there's no additional MOUs, which is what I think our request was per my notes. So I just want to point that out there.
The MOU with Hudson County College is relatively recent.
I believe they had discussed that was a plan that they were working on, and we had asked for somebody to be present to speak on that, and I believe somebody is here present, so that's great.
Thank you.
I have a question. For anybody sitting at the table, tell me something what you've learned about Jersey City. Tell me something about Jersey City that impressed you or you found interesting, something unique.
So I've been doing commercial real estate for about 23 years out in mostly South Brooklyn, okay? And I've seen certain areas grow and develop and a huge boom happen over the years. Some areas in Brooklyn, such as Bushwick, Crown Heights, I mean, it's a whole different animal than what it was 10 years ago. Jersey City, when I used to live in Livingston, passing through on occasion, it's a different world than it is today. And right now, it's like a mini Manhattan, you know? So I love the change and the people that are, you know, that are investing into it and see a bright future. So just the infrastructure itself and the development and how everything's changing and the streets are, you know, everything is just a whole different world. So honestly, that's what drives us to it. And I think we're coming into this in its early stages, and I think we are kind of trying to grow with the city as it's progressing and getting a whole new life. So that's how I see it.
But nothing very unique about Jersey City.
Unique, I mean, it's a city that, you know, it's a lot smaller than a lot of different places that I'm used to. And I love the community, how they all get together where they kind of really like hold hands and making sure that they actually want this to grow and prosper. There's a lot of pushback in the different areas. Here, I think everybody's kind of, you know, all in harmony in trying to kind of get this off the ground and having develop into something, you know, it's blooming.
Arson, with that being said, I think that's why we are stressing the fact that we want you to get more involved with the community, not just you, but the rest of the members of this entity, because it's an upcoming city and because we have so many individuals coming here with the new development, whether it's commercial, residential. We really want to hear that you're not just here for that you're here to give back to the community. Because like you said, you know, we are a smaller city than other cities. We're really focused on that here.
And especially with cannabis being something new and something that was frowned upon in the past, and now giving many people an opportunity that have been arrested, that have been affected by the cannabis in their lives in the past and going through the hardship and seeing that now they can flourish. That is why it is a pet peeve of mine to make sure that we have community engagement, that we're giving something back to the community that is just not here to make the money and go. Because
We understand that, and I think one of the first initiatives we took is to reach out to the community with, you know, when did we do this? Back in, was this January, February, when we did the painting of the
Vision Zero.
Yeah.
Vision
So
Zero.
and we reached out, and I think, you know, he came from Connecticut, I came from Brooklyn. I think we were one of the first people there, you know, in the beginning, and I think we made the front page on the Facebook as we were, you know, going through the motions.
I was there.
Thank you.
Okay,
I know.
so, you know, that's what we intend to do. I actually brought my daughter out with me, you know, trying to kind of help assist, you know. And as we all know, getting a young kid out of bed at 7 in the morning on a Saturday is not so easy. So, you know what, I intend to do this, you know, getting my kids involved as well. I feel it's a good connection. Just for everybody and connect. I want to be on a first name basis with everybody in our local community, and that's important to us.
That's what's important to us too, so that's great to hear.
Okay, good.
All right, any other questions for this? I'm sorry, your first name again was Kenneth? Kenneth, the security, hearing none, seeing none, members of the public, hearing none, seeing none. Any other witnesses?
I believe we
That's it,
have.
we've covered
We have,
everybody.
we have somebody here from Hudson County Community College to speak on behalf of the applicant.
Oh, all right. Good afternoon or good evening. Nice to see you again. I saw you at 10:30 when you were bringing lunch in.
That is correct.
Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Arak Arakashian, last name is spelled Karakashian. Address is 573 Beers Street, Hazlitt, NJ 07730.
What would you like to tell the board, sir?
Okay, I'm here to vouch for the applicant this evening. So good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Arak Arakashian, Dean of the School of Business, Culinary Arts, and Hospitality Management at Hudson County Community College. You may remember me from my comments for other applicants. My team and I manage the cannabis studies curriculum at the college. We have created a proprietary curriculum which focuses on frontline employment all the way through management opportunities within the cannabis industry. Students can earn an associate's degree in business administration cannabis studies, a certificate in cannabis business management, or a certificate in cannabis business agent. Maris has not forgotten that any business can only succeed when it's been embraced by the community that it's meant to serve. For this reason, our conversations for our agreement were simple, as our goals for a collaboration were like-minded. There are several noteworthy components contained in this agreement which benefit both the non-credit continuing education population along with those seeking a college credential. Details of our agreement include workshops, training programs, and hosting of special events, internship and externship opportunities for our students, preferential employment for our graduates, assistance with promoting cannabis programs at the college, a $10,000 donation towards a scholarship fund, and a seat on our cannabis advisory board. As the dean, I'm used to working with restaurants and hotels for placement of interns and graduates. Dialogue on internships and employment in the cannabis industry is new to the college. For this reason, I truly appreciate the company's full commitment to our collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions based on that testimony?
No, thank
Hearing
you.
none, seeing none?
Thank you for coming to speak on their behalf.
All right. Presumably no other witnesses?
Shereen?
No, witnesses.
Oh, sorry, no other witnesses.
No
I
other
apologize.
witnesses. All right, we'll open it up for public comment. You have 3 minutes to either speak for or against the application or anything else you would like to say. Good evening. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. My name is Shireen McCormick. It's SHIRIN MACCORMACK.
All right, what would you like to tell the board?
I'd like to tell the board that I'd like to say hello. I'm the president of a newer neighborhood association in McGinley Square, the McGinley Square Community Board, MSCB. I first spoke with Marist, New Jersey on March 11th, 2024, after they had proactively reached out to us after speaking to Ward B Council. Our neighborhood group then held a community meeting. It was open to all of the public to attend by Zoom on March 22nd. It was a meeting with Marist, New Jersey, and it had been emailed out to our neighborhood group's newsletter, which does include some recipients from the JSQCA. It was also posted on Instagram. People from community asked questions about Fort Jordan's on-site security at the intended cannabis shop. They asked questions about proximity to a number of schools, density and saturation of other cannabis shops in the area in relation to the 600-foot requirement. People asked about construction and opening timelines and more. Community expressed that we need heightened safety in this area. There was a shooting on March 9th, a few blocks away, that resulted in murder. So that was a concern, but Marist has assured us that they will be very diligent about security. Community expressed that we don't want empty storefronts. We do want businesses who come in and partner with the community and improve the neighborhood, who are invested in and engaged with the community and doing that outreach that you've all asked about. Marist has offered to help our neighborhood group by having each employee volunteer. And this was just postulated. It was just, discussed informally, something like maybe each employee does a certain amount of hours, like maybe 10 hours a month to help our new community group with various projects we have, things like neighborhood cleanups or beautification and plantings and greening. We want businesses that are willing to give back, and we would like to establish an MOU with Marist. We already talked about the HCC and the expungement. Marist came out from Brooklyn and Connecticut to attend the first 2 hours of the Jersey City Transportation Department's event, which our neighborhood group helped support. The event was the Monticello Traffic Calming and Street Safety Improvement on April 6th. They showed up right on time in 42-degree weather, and they brought donuts to share with everyone. So definitely put their best foot forward. I then invited them to contribute to our new community group's first free Mother's Day paint and plant event, where you paint a pot and plant it and give it to someone special. They didn't contribute to that, but it was relayed that in the future they would be happy to once they get in front of this board. I understand that they've been paying rent in this location for 8 or 9 months or something like that. And just hoping to get the ball rolling there. So we would definitely like to proceed with future engagement like that. And lastly, I would just like to say, I just wanted to ask, this might be more of a question for the next phase at the planning department, but I wanted to ask if any of the owners or investors in the Marist, New Jersey team are related to any of the city's elected officials.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Okay. And and I just wanted to recheck on any pending or approved applications for another cannabis shop within 600 feet at this time. I don't know.
I think Maynard can answer that question.
No. Okay. Thank you. We do support this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to speak today.
Thanks very much. Approved on Bergen Avenue.
I can't remember that. Anyone else from the
Maynard.
public? All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Good evening, everyone. Nathan McCormick, Nathan. Last name is MacCormack. I'm a resident of McGinley Square at 130 Glenwood Avenue.
What would you like to tell the board, Nathan?
I wanted to support the application that's before the board tonight. Shireen, who just spoke, is my wife. I was present for the last community meeting that we attended, in which they expressed their interest in opening the shop, and also agreed to partner with the community in various endeavors. And thankfully, as my wife already stated, they showed up within days of that meeting, rather, as she said, in for a pretty cold morning, but they were right there, ready and willing to participate, which was great. So as far as I'm concerned, right off the bat, they put their best foot forward. And during that virtual meeting, the biggest concern that I raised was not a surprise to anyone, the security around the business. From my understanding, having lived in a state where it is legal, and friends who live in those states, the issue isn't always the people who are going to the business to purchase cannabis. It's the people who understand how much cash is on hand in these businesses on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And that's actually, from my understanding, one of the bigger issues when it comes to security. So I brought this up in the meeting. They assured me that security would be, obvious. I don't know if it will be outside the store or inside the store. Security cameras are obviously a must, but they did assure me that security would be taken seriously. And that was my biggest concern at the meeting, which they obviously addressed at that time. So hoping that going forward, we can partner with the group for future community events, whether it's cleanups or, whatever may come up. So as I said, I do support the application before the board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close that public portion of the meeting. I'm sorry, what?
I think council wants to say something.
I just, something jogged my memory that was said, and it's, I think, somewhat relevant. Can I ask Arson one more question?
Sure.
Arson, in the workforce development plan, you guys committed to did you commit to 10 paid vacation days off for anybody who wants to go volunteer for any employees?
Yes, we did. So, absolutely, and we're gonna honor that.
Thank you.
And then I have a question, actually. The MOU with Hudson County Community College states that this will only be for 1 year. The $10,000 scholarship fund. Is that something that you guys will be interested in renewing after? Is this a one-time thing?
Yeah, absolutely, we'll renew it. It's just that we.
You only
are on
agreed
this
to the one to the 1 year for
to
now.
start with, assuming, my understanding is we have to go in front of a review every year.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming that we progress and this is all moving forward, absolutely we'll honor
Okay.
that.
So your testimony is that you will try to renew every year?
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, this is just a recommendation, but I would recommend that an MOU is written out between Maris and the McGinley Square.
Well, we can make that a condition of the approval if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Please. We've asked other applicants to do the same as well, just to, formalize things.
Sure.
Anything else you want to add or some summation? No, hearing none, seeing none? Okay. Bring it back to the board for discussion.
I'd like to go into closed session.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So closed session is really more executive session. It's not closed, but there is no give and take. It is deliberation by the board. You're not to respond to anything unless, of course, they ask you a question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My concern is that
You have to
Yeah, yeah.
speak it up.
Right.
Yeah. We're not enclosed, yeah.
my concern is that we've been a lot more harsher with applicants that have come in front of us with the community engagements and the commitment. I'm sure they have the best intent to do so, but when you have an intent and you don't have it in writing, there's nothing to hold you by it. And I feel that Hudson County Community College, although it's a great organization, I just feel that it was easier to go to Hudson County Community College and get an agreement with them than to actually engage with the actual community that's there. Looking at their proximity, they have the restaurant in the front. There's a corner restaurant, I think it's called Coconut Restaurant, is right there in the corner of it. Jordan and Montgomery, then you have the Armory. Then across the street, although they are within, I'm going to assume, just by eyeballing it, they are further enough from the school, but not meeting with the school. And we've had so much issue with the youth and wanting to I'm pretty sure with having a retired Jersey City police officer, head of security is a gigantic plus. But it's also the congregation that's going to happen with wanting to. It's just like kids hanging out in front of a bar trying to get somebody to go in there and buy them something. I did it when I was young. That's why I'm only going to put forward what I know that I did.
Good point.
Because I did the same thing even when I thought somebody was watching me when I was going to go buy cannabis at like 16, 17 years old. So those are my concerns. My concerns is how hard we've been with other applicants and that there's only one MOU and I don't see more community engagement in that particular area, because that area already it's had some issues. And when I'm out in the community and I'm in it all day, I was there for Vision Zero as well, because it was raining that day, drizzling. It was right on while painting the pink and the purples and whatever. It is a great initiative, but I would like to see something a little more concrete on writing, because we've been really hard on our other applicants. I would feel it being fair.
Yeah,
Just my
I
concern.
agree. I agree with you, Commissioner Dublin. I think that's why from the moment that they came up today, as I was jogging my memory and reading my notes, I kept just bringing up further community engagement, further MOUs. I know that the Hudson County Community College MOU was discussed previously, and just based on the dates from our speakers that came up, they did meet with some of the community members after our meeting, because this was the last time we seen this applicant was back in December. And according to testimony today, you've met with the community sometime in March. So some initiatives were taken to engage with the community, but I think I also agree with Commissioner Dublin and that we would like to see more community engagement from this applicant.
But before I make a comment, did you have anything to add, Jeffrey? No? Okay. You wanted to say something else, then I'd like to chime in. Yeah.
It's taking off Jeff's question, Commissioner Kapowitz's question of what have you learned from Jersey City. Jersey City is a melting pot. We are a unique city, born and bred here. My dad is an immigrant of this country, who's still a resident of this country, who's worked hard, and I commend anyone who comes here to set their best foot forward. I'll be the first one to stand up and do anything to help. But we're so unique that the reason why we ask these community engagements is because Jersey City is just not a place to come make money. Jersey City is not something that you're not going to reinvest into. We are a melting pot. We are unique to anyone around the country. So that's one of the reasons why also it's so important to want to invest and to see our community flourish in those areas, because that particular area is up and coming. That's right off Monticello. That's right off Bergen. It's an area that has changed drastically. It's an area where my dad started his first businesses, who then ventured off to having an enormous amount of more other businesses here in this soil. So it's the reason why I ask that there is more community engagement, because that question that Commissioner Kapowitz asked was a phenomenal question, because there's so much to say about Jersey City, and we're a colorful city.
So let me suggest this. Now, this, of course, is an application that has been bouncing around since probably before December, for nobody's fault whatsoever.
Right.
Now, if the board was so inclined to approve or support the application, we could put that in as a reasonable condition. Now, don't forget, they need to come back for a final. You would not approve the final if they have not met those reasonable conditions that I could place in a resolution of support from the board. But I leave it up to the board. But again, this is an application that apparently they're trying, but it has been bouncing around for quite some time. But that is your discretion.
I mean, it definitely has bounced around for different reasons. The flu being one of them, not having quorum, another reason, mistake of a date from the 26th to the 28th. So I think it's reasonable that, it has been adjourned as many times for those reasons. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I'm sorry, and I'm going to break the executive here. They're going for an annual license, correct? Yeah, so they still have to get the resolution of support from the governing body. Then they've got to go back to the CRC, and they're paying rent on this place. So it's up to the board. But all right, go ahead, Jeff.
Everybody knows my position. All right? I want to see local businesses succeed in Jersey City. I have no problem with the idea of having people who don't live in Jersey City open a business, as long as they give back and become part of the community.
Right.
I think Ron's suggestion is a good suggestion, that we make the final. They cannot open up until they get their annual, come back to us, and they meet the qualifications of actually going to the community, talking to the community. The SID is not going to sign off one way or the other. That's just the way they are. And that goes throughout the city. But talking to the neighborhood groups, the Duncan Avenue people, Monticello, Bergen Avenue, merchants, they could draw up enough people that would come here and say, they've reached out to us, we believe that they want to be part of the community, and we support that. And they could bring those people to the final approval, but they get a chance to move forward to get their annual. And if they show up and there's just one or two people, well, then they're really not engaged in Jersey City.
Right, and I'd like to see a meeting happen with Hudson Catholic, with something in writing that states that if they do disperse their children at lunchtime, I'm not sure if they break for lunch or if they're mandatory to stay inside anymore, and when they're dismissed.
And there's a huge business right on Montgomery off of Bergen, the Hudson Enterprise.
Yes, Hudson Enterprise. That's the special needs location. I'm not too worried about them, to be honest, because their families. I'm really engaged in that particular community, and their families, they do a pickup and a drop off. So there's not too much walking, and there's no more litter patrol there anymore.
Absolutely.
But I would like to see a meeting happen with them as well,
because they can generate business for the mentally and physically challenged.
Absolutely. If that's something that can happen, I'm all for it. I am, again, like I said, I am daughter of an immigrant who immigrated into this country and is very successful. And I applaud anyone who comes in. I don't want to give the misconception that I'm not looking or that I don't want to see a business that's coming into Jersey City to make money, but I wanted to see more engagement in the community, not only come in here for the opportunity, because we are a very flourishing company. A city, something opens up in Jersey City and is run appropriately, you're going to be very successful. I am a complete testament of it. My dad, thank God, is a very successful man who came in from Washington Heights when he immigrated from the Dominican Republic and came to Jersey City. But I want to see the community engagement, which is something that we've done since I was born. It was part of his give back when he started here. That's what I want to see from you guys. And I would be in agreement with adding that to the resolution, but it's imperative for it to happen. Those communities must be touched, and I want to see something in writing, especially with the schools, because that is a concern to a lot of parents.
So why don't we exit the work session?
I'm sorry.
No.
Can we
Motion.
ask him? I wanted to ask you.
When we exit the.
Exit,
Okay.
a motion to.
So, hold before you, I want you to know, the question I've asked for other applicants who were not familiar with Jersey City. And the reason I ask is that your business is a consumer business that is really about people who live in the neighborhood or around the area. And quite frankly, I don't think you could succeed if you're not really engaged and understand Jersey City. It's a wonderful city, and it's very unique in its diversity and its culture and its history. And by being engaged, then you draw the people who live here to your business.
Right.
So why don't we exit, motion to
Yeah,
exit
I'll
work
make a
session?
motion to
I'll
exit the
second.
work.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so now there can be some give and take if you have
had
any
a question.
questions.
You had
or-
a question?
I think it's off.
Do you happen to know if Mr. Terry is still the principal over at that school?
I'm not sure if he's still the principal. I deal more with a teacher because I run different programs, but I'm not sure if he's still the principal. Could be. I don't think there's been a change.
Okay, thank you.
All right, just so that I have a better understanding, what is the board looking for? I know more, proof of more community engagement, but that's pretty broad.
Well, there's several communities that it impacts, that this business will impact. One being that there is some type of a written agreement of closing its doors during either lunch or dismissal.
That's with
Right,
neighboring
that's
schools?
what's
Is
that's
that
the
it?
neighboring
Yep.
school. That's Hudson Catholic.
Yeah.
I would like to see a meeting with the actual Journal Square Association. They actually meet at the community college. They have a very long reach. And just communities from there, like have you met with the businesses on the corner business? There's a very busy Spanish restaurant that's on the corner. It's called Coconuts. There's residential areas
The
there. Like
pizzeria right there as well.
You have Prince Pizza. You have the Monticello. You said you met with the Journal Square Sid, correct? That's the young lady that just came up and spoke, right? But reaching out to that community,
No?
even if you have NASA. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, that's
McGinley
right.
Square, that was McGinley.
That's McGinley Square.
okay.
Sorry. So
There's Glenwood
Yes,
Block
there's the Glenwood
Association,
Block
there's Duncan
Association.
Avenue.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty much asking for what we asked for
Last
in
time.
December.
Yeah.
Right.
In addition to the other percentage of the owners
if-
being
if
present
that-
as well.
I would be okay if that's put into the resolution, but that is something that I personally, for my decision, would have to see some serious community engagement.
I agree.
Understood, I have it. So with that,
So with that being said, we'll make a motion to approve this applicant with conditions.
right, I've got a
Just-
meeting with Hudson Catholic to sort of square away scheduling as to when kids are dismissed.
Lunch and dismissal, because it's the
Lunch and
same thing that
dismissal.
the Lincoln High School did.
Journal Square Association, a meeting with them, and then some proof that you've met with adjoining businesses or businesses that are in close proximity to the cannabis business, correct?
And I think we've asked other applicants to make sure that they're here present as well. So if you are going to submit something in writing, just ask one of them to come speak as well.
And there's businesses on
For
Bergen
your
Avenue.
final approval.
Yeah.
There's businesses on Bergen Avenue, very small businesses that have been there for an extremely long time. There's businesses on Montgomery. There's businesses on Bergen. There's businesses on Baldwin. There's a lot of small businesses there. Not big business, but really neighborhood-owned businesses. And I think that, you you want to be part of the neighborhood, and reach out to like the different neighborhood associations, which you can very easily get from the
The
city.
Residence Response Center.
Yeah.
Right.
The
You
resident
can call
response center.
Residence Response Center and they can give you a list of the surrounding.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
I think he has a question.
Oh,
Just a quick question. I always want to be cognizant of the residents' jobs that are in, working for all the different local businesses. And don't want to speak on behalf of the client. I just have a general question for the board.
Go ahead.
When I bring somebody with us, when we identify who that would be, does it need to be the owner of the company for one of those, or would an employee be sufficient? Because if it's an employee, I don't want them to have to take off a shift.
Well, they're going to come here at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. It could be either or.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
again,
I think we're open to, I don't think we're very strict on, hey, it needs to be the owner.
Right.
I think as long as there's some sort of initiative and just some commitment from either a representative or the owner himself.
Right.
So either support or, again, oppose the business. I think we just want to hear that.
And support that's in writings.
the best applications that we've heard through the process, through final, has been, a room full of people that came and said, we like this applicant because he or she is going to be part of the neighborhood. That's
And we do appreciate Hudson County Community College.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
the
no
McKinley
question
Square
about
coming
that.
here. Thank you.
all right. So
Any second?
we do need a second.
second,
All right. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with those reasonable conditions. You're off to, I believe, the governing body for a resolution of support at some point in time.
Right.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Planning
night.
board is next.
Thank you.
Planning board.
Oh, planning board, sorry.
Planning board.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I wish it was that simple.
All right, what do you want to call up next here?
The leaf
We
is
should
here.
just do the
Well,
final
just,
for the
make-
leaf.
Is Leaf here?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's here. He's right there.
Oh, okay.
All right, if we could have the leaf joint.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. When I
Please.
Yep. All right, welcome. This is very informal. How close are you to opening your doors?
We're open.
Very good. Glad to hear that.
I think your mic might be off.
Just keep on rolling them.
no press the button.
Any questions
There you
from
go.
the board members?
No.
All right, I need a motion. followed-
Motion.
Motion.
Okay,
I'll
go ahead.
second.
All right, so, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Best of
you're
luck.
official now. Was that too hard?
Not at all, not at all. All right, we do have a late-minute add-on, right?
Yeah, cream
CCB 22-22 Cream Dispensary, previously known as Perennial Group.
Okay, so who's here for that?
All right, nice to see you, Gerald. Please enter your appearance into the record.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, Council. My name is Gerard Pizzillo. I'm an attorney with Genova Burns. I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicant, Cream Dispensary. We're here for a final approval.
Did the gentleman next to you ever testify before?
Yes, he did appear before this board, Alfredo Pressaget. He's the CFO and one of the principal owners of the applicant.
Is he the majority owner, 51%? And how many partners do you have?
4.
And they're all in different, about what? About 10% or
51, 19, 15, and
Let me put my
15.
glasses on so I can.
15? Okay. Here's the issue.
Yeah, go ahead.
It appears that one of the minority owners, I don't mean race, I mean as percentage, a notice came to us that the gentleman was arrested with a pistol, an arm, a gun. So I would like to know, again, I have a real problem with that until the courts adjudicate this, either through a jury decision of, innocent or guilty. I don't think I'd want to see a dispensary that has a part owner that is out there, illegally selling drugs, but more importantly, that is armed.
It may be he's innocent, but until proven guilty.
That's right.
But if he pleads guilty or he's found guilty, the CRC may find that to be an ineligible.
We agree with that, and we acknowledge that there was a partner when we did appear before this board in September of 22.
What's his name?
His name is Carl
Roberson.
Roberson. Okay, and this did come to light post that approval, post our approvals here in the city. While their application was pending with the CRC, my clients did remove him. He's no longer part of the ownership.
Okay.
And
Do you
that
have
was
any evidence, or can you supply us with some of that evidence that he is no longer a owner, has no interest in this particular cannabis business?
And he was removed because of this incident, or he was removed before?
he was removed directly as a result of this incident. And because of the impact that it would have had and the concern and the risk that the CRC would have denied the application
absolutely.
because of, you know, because of the infraction and obviously the stain on the applicant as a whole. AJ, or Alfredo, excuse me, I call you AJ, but Alfredo did address this and go to the CRC, and he was the point person in, you know, removing Mr. Roberson. So he can testify as to the evidence that he is no longer part of the entity, and this was all vetted through the CRC, so that when we received, or when the applicant received its final initial or annual license, it was without Mr. Roberson's involvement.
Have you amended the application, I guess, with us?
the certification. The state
Why don't we swear you
Okay.
in, if you don't?
Yeah.
Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Alfredo J. Prasaget, Prasaguet, 53 High Street, Jersey City, New Jersey, 03706.
So, Alfredo, what documentary evidence can you provide to the board that Mr. Roberson is no longer connected in any way to your dispensary?
We had a change with the state of ownership as well as with the CRC, and we had him sign a document that said he is no longer part owner.
Do we have copies of
Be
that?
so kind as to supply that to me so I can supply it to the board members.
Sure, absolutely.
And I don't think Commerce has received a copy of that, Maynard?
Okay, I could get that to you
That's the
tonight.
way, actually, it should go through
Yeah, it's
Maynard's
gonna go-
office.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
jumped
no
the gun.
formal change has been
And-
submitted to the,
And the state application
to the Commerce
approval reflecting the same information?
Correct.
Okay. By the way, if you're going to open up a cannabis store, it's a great street to live on.
High Street.
With that
Oh,
support.
He
sure
lives on
is.
High Street.
You live on High Street. That's perfect.
Didn't think of it until,
just got
until
that, huh?
we moved in.
Yeah.
Got it when he first said it. All right, so then I think we should just adjourn this applicant.
Well,
No, we
Wait,
could,
you could,
no.
it's the board's pleasure.
we
but,
could vote on it, and that's conditional. Our vote's based upon that within, what, 48 hours, they submit the evidence
You
to
give them a
Maynard.
temporary opening so they can do their
It should be
grand
very
opening.
quickly because they have a scheduled ribbon cutting.
Okay,
That's why.
so when's your ribbon
So
cutting?
we don't get it.
Friday with Mayor Fuller.
No.
Okay, yeah, trust me, you're going to want to clarify that right now, because I don't think Steve will show up if there's any,
It's been
I could
changed
put it on the
4
record.
times.
I'll put it on the record. Maynard, you'll have it tonight.
okay.
You'll have the documents
That's
tonight.
Oh, hold up, I just have a question.
I'm sorry?
I said, I didn't read the initial application, nor was I here for their testimony.
You don't have to be. This is an old.
2002.
Yeah, 2002.
22.
You're basically just here to finalize it. You need not recuse yourself just because you weren't here for the original
Right.
application. In fact,
I
the way
was.
our ordinance is written, we require nothing for this final approval, essentially.
If, for the board's benefit, I can give you a little bit of a background of what they've been doing.
I would actually
or what the
appreciate that.
Who your
process.
MOUs are with?
Just because
Sure.
two of
Yes.
us were not here when you initially provided testimony.
Fair. We were prepared to address those points. We, at the time when we did appear before this board, we had 2 MOUs in place with Whole Spectrum Autism Foundation, as well as the Police Athletic League. And I'll let Alfredo speak to this, but they've already been actively engaging in those partnerships. In addition to those two, they've partnered with Hudson Pride Center and have been working with them, and as well have been an active sponsor with the Historic Special Improvement Historic Downtown Special Improvement District, sorry.
You were here
So
when
they've
they
been
submitted?
active.
Oh, yeah, I heard
Okay.
this application, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've already been engaged with the community, already working alongside with them. You're a Jersey City resident.
For 3.5 years.
Okay.
Been working with all of them. My husband and I just recently started partnering with the Hudson Pride Center as well, Joseph
Perfect.
Cameron and Stephanie Mills. Sherry Singh with the Whole Spectrum Autism Foundation. We started from day one with her. Rachel Sieg with the HDSID, as well as Elvis and Maisha with PALS, when that organization was just getting off the ground with basically no resources or nothing. And so we had no approvals or anything, and we started December 2020 and just started rolling with it. And we have prior experience from San Francisco, and our family lives here, and that's how this all came. And we're thankful this day is finally close and here.
And
I'm sure.
And Alfredo, if you could just give the board the benefit of the employees, I think that was a very great thing that you told me before, and if you could just let them know as well, in terms
Yes.
of the employees.
You know, I for us, especially with me being Latino and me being married to a man, it was very important for us to have inclusivity and diversity, and that's 100% what we said our part of our platform was going to be. We have 9 employees that we've hired. 7 out of the 9 are women. 3 of them are part of the LGBTQ community. 5 out of the 9 are African American. 2 are Latino, and 1 is Asian. And everybody lives in Jersey City except for 1. So that was very close to us, and we wanted to make sure that we continued to all of our promises that we have been delivering over these last 3.5 years.
And I
Sounds
could
good to
say
me.
to my fellow commissioners, they had a very good application when they first came here and had a lot of support locally.
Okay. And MOUs were established.
And I'm good with that as long as we can get, I'm fine with voting on for them to open and have their grand opening, as long as within the next 48 hours, we have something that tells us that Mr. Robeson is no longer a part of your organization.
You will have it as soon as I leave here and get to my computer.
Then I'd make a motion to vote to accept his
I'll second.
application.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't have one of those resolutions.
Thank you,
because it was
commissioners, and
added,
thank you
I
for your
guess, at the
courtesy. So
last
you'll have
minute.
that
Yeah, it was a
tonight.
last minute item.
We'll circulate it. Before
I
we,
need to just stretch. I'm not leaving.
before we adjourn,
Thank you.
Congratulations. What time's your ribbon cutting?
Best of luck.
1 o'clock, but we have everybody coming at 12:30.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
good luck to you.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's do this in total here. Maris, the leaf joint, and blossom. If I can get a motion to
Motion.
memorialize.
Second.
Followed by a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that takes care of that. All 3 are done.
Minna, when is our next meeting?
I mean,
24th?
I'm on vacation, guys. I'm just gonna put that
That's
right out
why
there,
I
real quick. I'm taking my children away.
Good for you.
You gonna bring them back?
Listen, if I don't take them away soon, I am going to be
She's going to be the one left behind, not the kids.
It's not a major concern because we don't have any applications that are complete.
perfect.
Okay, so
it may-
there's not
It
a-
may not take place anyway.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn.
With the way my
All right,
schedule is going,
before we go,
my kids will leave me.
since we're here and we haven't met in a while, is there anything that we want to address?
I have something I want.
No, darling. Go ahead.
I want to address just attendance overall. I feel like most of us try to be here.
Do we want that on the record?
I want it on the record, yeah. I just want to make sure that, everybody, all of us take out of our time to be here. I'm sure all of us have other things to do. And I know that we've had certain commissioners that have been out several times, and I just want to kind of bring that to light on the record.
And I think she does her best to try to come, but I'm saying her life just happens. And if life just happens, it just maybe is time to have that discussion to see if maybe it's someone else can take the reins for that, or maybe she just, I don't know.
It's not my decision.
No,
so-
I know it's not your decision. Trust me, I get it.
So just to lean
Anybody
on,
gets it, I get it.
lean on the municipal land use law, if a member of the planning or zoning board misses, I believe it's 4 consecutive meetings, unexcused meetings, sick, whatever the case may be, what could happen is the planning board or zoning board, they take a vote, and they send a letter to the governing body indicating that it's our position that seat is vacant at this point, and then it's up to the governing body to appoint either a new zoning or planning board member, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think I would like to have this conversation when our other members here as well.
Understood.
Like when everybody's present. But I did want to bring it to light today because, you know, some people have vacation days or whatever it is planned, and then
Yeah, like unfortunately, Brittany has a stomach virus or you're sick or whatever. And if I technically am not supposed to be here today.
she's on a vacation day today.
So I just was like, I got a phone call. I was like, oh my God, we have cannabis. And I'm like, ran over here because I didn't want to do
Adjourn
that because
one more time. Right.
because I feel that this cannabis is really important. At least to me, it is. And I don't want to stop small businesses from opening because I'm a product of a small business. And I want to be able to see them flourish, but I also feel like we need to put in the time to hear them, to tell them what they need to do in order to open or to be successful, or we're not going to agree or whatever the case may be. But I feel like it's important for everyone to be present.
And I think attendance is like extremely important. Like showing up is the first step and the most important step. And from there, we just kind of just go. But again, I would like to have this conversation when everybody's present. But today I wanted to bring it up because
Which
I
won't
know
happen until July.
probably, and that's fine. But I did want to put it on the record because
wanted to-
Sonia was on a vacation day today, and last minute we called her like, "Hey, we need you. If not, we don't have quorum." And
We understand.
she stopped her whatever she was doing on her vacation day and made it here. So I just feel
And
like
we all
everybody should-
appreciate that.
Everybody should put an
I
effort
was
to do the same.
I was about to go swimming.
I think I've missed a handful of meetings over the 2.5 years. You know, either holiday, religious holiday,
Thank
or
you for being present. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and it's,
I do have one more question. I have a question outside of that. Like we're dwindling down, right? So like it's gonna get like either slow or no meetings are gonna happen. This is my biggest issue. So I go get my nails done, and I can't go get my nails done because I'm being asked questions about, I have this tenant who has been paying rent in one of my locations. I can't remember, but it's somewhere on West Side Avenue. They came, they got approvals, they got everything, right? But guess what they don't have?
What's that?
No finances to open.
right.
So now he comes and he's like, I'd like to put in an application. I bought the business in the middle of, I think the renter must have been renting like 3-4 months. This new person came in, bought it, and now it's like, oh, they're going to open cannabis. Oh, I should have thought about that. Now the people who he's been renting that's been paying rent for like a little bit over a year cannot open their cannabis business because they don't have the financial backing. Now, this
99%
guy-
of the cannabis
Right,
business.
absolutely. Which is like the same way when my father started his businesses in alcohol, and that it tanked the business. So now this guy wants to put in an application, which we're probably not going to be able to even do because it's the same location. It's the same exact, but he don't have the money
No, he's got
to
to put the
open. He has to put in the application, but he has, now this guy's like, listen, I'm not going to rent anymore. I'm done,
could.
but I
You know-
can't.
so that he could
So-
probably
You know,
cancel ownership.
you know something? This is something that I brought up about 2-3 meetings ago, is because we don't have a pin in the map, but we can't deny someone from opening, hearing and opening
Right.
up. But there has to be a timeline that you don't have a post.
Right.
And if you don't have the financing, or there has to be a deadline where you can finish it and open up.
Or there has to be some type of an extension to us. Like, I know that the state is backlogged. I've heard that 100 times. I get it. But if you're going up against the state and you're saying, I'm just waiting for my license, I have the financial backing to open, and you get your state approval, and a year later, you're still not open, that's not fair to the other person.
Let me just, hold on a second.
Let me just say this.
I'll tell you how we handle it.
No, I just want to tell you this, though. Most of the people are not being hung up by the state. They just don't have the money.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So the other 20 towns I represent, what they do is they have in the ordinance that the resolution of support expires in a year.
And they have to come back to renew.
No,
They just
they're
have
gone.
to. They're
gone.
Okay.
If you haven't
So they
done
would start a new
something,
application.
if you haven't done, no,
No.
we don't
Ours
have to.
is open-ended.
If you haven't done something in a year, off to the next person.
And that would be fair because at least within a year you should have heard back from the state. And if you're only waiting for the
No
state to get
backlog
money,
anymore.
I mean,
Right,
if
but
you have
isn't-
your money,
Isn't
then
there
you
a deadline with the state application that once they're approved, they have a year or two to open, or 2
Yeah, but
years?
that's not fair for a business
They
who has the
got
money.
rid of that.
Oh.
They had a year from
Okay.
final approval to open, and they got rid of that regulation.
And is
Final
that
approval
because
on
of
the
construction
state, on the
delays?
state side.
So what happens is
Yeah.
you have typically conditional annual, which is final.
Right.
But then you have to build, and then you have your inspection.
Okay.
So what Maynard is referring to is once you had your annual, you had 1 year to build out, that's gone now. That's
So
my
can we
understanding.
ask, I ask all that to ask, can we ask the people when was this board created? I can't remember off the top of my head.
2022?
Okay,
22.
so in 2022, the people that have not opened as of yet, as of, let's say, July 1st, right, of 24, can we ask them to come and appear in front of us to tell us why they haven't opened? Is that allowed?
You could, sure, yeah. I did it in
Status update,
Teaneck
sure.
3 months ago.
So can we do that?
How many applications
I
are
mean, just
sitting
so you
there?
know, the board has reviewed probably 90 applications.
Okay.
We have 64, about 64 that's been approved. And out of that 64, there's another 45 that have been approved by city council. But we only have 9 that are open,
So,
just so you know.
can we, why don't we, I don't know about all the board members, but I think the three of us would like to sit down with the council and talk to them, maybe at the caucus, of why we think that it's time.
Maybe we should wait for the chair to be
Yeah.
present for this conversation.
But I guarantee you she won't support it.
I think that the issue is that I don't think that, I don't know where I haven't had a conversation with any council people referring to cannabis, because it's like not something that anybody wants to talk about. But I mean, I don't think that it would hurt to ask, because an
I think we can do it.
amendment
Oh, yeah.
to this ordinance has to happen. Something has to give. There are way for us to only have 9, for you guys to have heard, because you guys have been here longer than I and Jose, to hear 60 something.
90 something.
Okay, 90 heard, 60 approved, 9 open. In a city this size, that's crazy.
So to your point, you could have them come in and ask them what's
Where you
going
at?
on, and if it looks like it is just going south, you could simply vacate the resolution of support.
Do we have the authority to do that under our ordinance?
You don't need that. I mean,
We
it
approve-
doesn't prohibit it, so.
But we
Okay.
also.
I mean, from 2002 to now, if you didn't
motion
open,
to approve, so we can also put a motion to vacate.
And there's nothing
Okay.
that says you can't, that you can't ask for a status. Now, maybe you don't have to have them to come back. Maybe you could do
yeah,
it through.
and emails, an explanation on why have you not opened, and you were heard in 2002, you were heard in 2022, 2023, and you're yet to open, because I know that when I'm out here trying to just get my nails done, I can't, because they're like, the guy's not going to be able to open. He told the landlord, I want to break my lease.
But hasn't told the board.
No. So at this point, I got to go look at the address now, because I was too busy trying to, have some me time.
Get your nails done.
Yeah,
All right.
Did your
Why don't
nails
we
get
save
done,
this
though?
one?
it sure did. But that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can bring this up at our next meeting. Hopefully, we have a full board present, and I think it would be great to just.
Another question. So let's say, oh no, because I'm not here.
Well,
on
go
June-
ahead.
I was going to say
Yeah.
June 22nd. Even though they didn't have applicant, we could have met to just
I
discuss
have
on the
to-
record.
I'll tell you something. Even if we have no applicants, we could sit here and have a work session.
That's what I
among
wanted to do, but
ourselves,
I'm not
Going
here.
through everything that we would
Well,
like
we
to
can
see.
plan it. Doesn't have to be the next.
And
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
apologize.
even-
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I have done status updates, and what I've noticed a lot of people are in the middle of, like the build out. I do know people are low on the funds. I do know that there are people that say that.
Right.
I've had people have issues like iced tea, medicine woman, for example. They were like 3 or 4, the third or fourth one, and like they had issues with DOT.
Right.
You
but
know,
at least
and
they
like
can show you that. I know places that we've had on that list that I've done drive-bys, and there's no intent of no build out, because there's not even a nail in the wall.
But so with that's
Always just the reason, though, 'cause
No, I know what you mean.
yeah.
probably really should focus on those that have full municipal approval.
Right. That's what I'm looking
Yes.
for.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many
Only
we
the
have?
ones that
And I-
But those are some of the people that I've been talking to.
Okay.
Too. So the people that have full municipal approval.
Now,
Door
we
open.
can't vacate a municipal
That's what I'm saying. Is
approval.
that even going to be
And
possible?
I would strongly suggest we continue this when we have at least a
full
full
quorum,
board
full
or
quorum.
close to it.
Okay.
So we can get some general consensus. Somebody's car is going off.
Is
No,
me-
that's a door.
medicine,
That's a-
is
that's
that
the door that
the,
opens.
That iced tea's place? Is the medicine woman, is that iced tea's place?
There's possibly a change of location.
Yeah.
No, they called the other day and they said they decided not to do that now.
Oh, okay.
They were thinking about changing location because they had such a big issue with the Department of Transportation. And it was a big issue. So now they fixed that issue. But
Okay.
it's taken them all this time. They got
Right.
approved in 2022.
Yeah.
Like even with Blossom today, like they were number one.
Right.
They were
Wow.
first.
Yeah.
You know, and they just opened on April 20. So the process seems like it's taking the
Forever.
average person about 2 years.
I just
Or
don't.
so.
I just been hearing so many of those that are basically throwing up their hands in the air and saying, "I'm not going to open. I don't have the money," and they
I do
just
believe
haven't
there
come.
are a lot of people like that.
I know at least 3. That's the only reason why. No, I know they haven't. That's the reason why I asked if that's possible to ask them to come in.
I also have pending applications that have yet to get in front of you, like St. James.
You don't have to say their names, right?
Like, I have them that, same thing, like they're not sure what the like the
Yeah.
location's an issue. So we have people that are just kind of
But
bringing us along.
Yeah, but I think the focus is really just going to be on those that have full municipal approval to give us a status update.
So-
We'll either reach out to them if the board desires them to come back. We'll let you know. I mean,
Okay.
we'll give you an update by email, and then you can make a decision if you want to see that particular applicant.
Then
And
we can recommend to the governing body that they rescind it.
Right, that's what I was.
and the other question before we no, don't motion yet. I just have one quick question that keeps coming up. Everyone's asking about the renewal process. At what point do they get renewed? Because we have, there's applications that have that came in front of the board and was approved. Then they came in front of the city council months later, and then they received the state application, and then there's an opening date. At what point does the board want to see them back?
It's got to be either when they get the final sign off by us, or they open up.
I'd say
I think open up would be reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, how can we
The only
hold them
concern I have,
accountable?
and why I'm a little, not that I don't agree with that, a year from opening up, it's just that, so we're going to allow them to pay for the renewal, right? Because if they paid us months before they opened, they really should be paying us again 1 year from the date that they paid last.
Why would they pay you
Hey,
for renewal? Oh,
Once we issue a city license, once they receive the state license. So when
that's
they
not
come
the
back
same as the
here,
opening.
see, as the members came back today, they came back, they have to pay us prior to coming back to the board.
maybe we should change the method, or to ask the council to change it, that it's a nominal fee for you, and then the actual renewal is when they, a year after they open.
I don't know if that's gonna work, because the money's not coming in, the revenue's not being realized around the same amount every year.
They're
It gets a
saying
little-
to
Please
see
forgive
them
me.
at that.
We really should wait for the chair.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too.
We'll ask that
I think so
question.
too.
It's just, no, it is, the questions come up and we don't have a way of answering it, but, okay.
So motion to
I
end the
agree with
meeting.
you. That's an issue that we
Second.
have to talk about.
All in favor?
Aye.